Hello everyone! I hope that you are doing well. Happy Monday! I want to see if I can show you guys my new microphone. Can't really see the lighting very well, but it's RGB and it changes to tons of different colors. That's also why all of that is a mess. I'm getting a whole new desk. I'm tearing apart everything and redoing my desk, so it might be might look a little bit crazy for a sec. Did you dye your hair? No, I did not dye my hair. I just got out of the shower, but I did do this. Wow, look how much that is. I really wanted to trim my hair because it was getting crazy. The ends were really just like not making it easy to work with my hair. So I did cut my hair the other day, and the reason why I still have this is I am using it to charge my wand that I got that I've been telling you guys about that I was getting made for me. So yeah, it's been fun. I actually decided to cut my hair a day after this wand came, and it has really shaken up the energy in my life in a good way. But yeah, like right after I got this, it's interesting what this wand has done. It's almost made me see through illusions in certain relationships or friendships and correct things, even my own habits that I don't see as something sustainable for me. So it's been like really shaking up the energy, and one of those results was I just got the urge to cut my hair. But it is really not that short. It's still pretty long. I have to go get it evened out because I pretty much cut it from the back by myself, and it looks really good. It's really even, but I want to get it cleaned up before my trip, which I'm leaving to on the 7th. But yeah, that's kind of to answer your question, Jason. No, I didn't dye my hair, but I did just get out of the shower, and it's already so much easier to deal with the ends. But yeah, I'd say this is like a good like 7 inches or so, and pretty much I've just been having it lay with my wand so my wand can kind of like get accustomed to like the energy in my house and stuff. And pretty much there's nothing magical about a wand. It can have certain properties, but depending on what you use to make it. Like this one was made with oak, it's wrapped with copper wire, and it has a clear quartz tip. But the magic comes from you. The wand is just a way to kind of like channel and point that energy or intention to a specific area, if that makes sense. So yeah, anything can really be used to channel your magic, your energy, because it comes from you to begin with. But yeah, so things are gonna be different. I bought the coolest desk ever that I've ever seen. I'm getting like I'm working on like kind of updating my setup and stuff. So it's gonna look really cool soon. And yeah, I'll be able to go through everything and, make it all nice. I did get the podcast recorded, so that I'm hoping will come out tomorrow. It took a little bit longer going through like the checks and stuff on YouTube, which everything has to go through for like copyright and stuff. So that has been recorded. I will get that out ASAP. And yeah, those are pretty much the only main updates that I have for this past week. We are going to talk about reality shifting today, because we haven't touched on this for a while, and I think it would be good to kind of touch on. Now, before we get into that, I really just want to say there are 2 different types of reality shifting that are completely different. There is TikTok's version of reality shifting, which is literally just like liminal dreaming and dream work, but they will fight you on that. If you call their reality shifting dreaming or dream states, they will fight you on it, but it does happen in dream states. So that reality shifting, this one that you see on TikTok, you can pretty much follow any lucid dreaming / liminal dreaming technique and be able to reach those states. Actual reality shifting, though, that is talked about within like quantum physics and like Napoleon Hill and Neville Goddard's work and all of that, it's shifting your physical reality in consciousness to manifest the life that you desire. Now, with this, it's really all about your state of mind. when we think about manifesting, a lot of us try to manhandle our physical environment, right? It's like, oh, I don't like this job or this person. And so you try to physically make the change yourself, when really the resistance is coming from inside. If we want to create a new job, for example, or find a new job, but we're really scared to leave the job that we're at, and we're still mentally attached to that job, and we don't feel worthy of another job, we're not going to be able to find what we're looking for, because it starts inside first. So anytime you are wanting to go for a new goal, or whatever it is, anytime you are dreaming or desiring of something bigger, check in inside and ask yourself, do I feel worthy of that? Do I feel worthy of that? And if it's a no, great, there's the work. Now you know what to work on in order to get through that roadblock, so you can actually feel worthy of a life that you want to create, which in turn sets it in motion. Because if you feel worthy, your thoughts are going to change, how you feel in your body is going to change, and our actions are influenced by how we feel and the thoughts that we think. So automatically, your actions will change as well if you feel worthy, if you feel confident, and if you've removed that resistance from trying something new. So it really is all an inner game. So what I want to ask you guys is, the first step to reality shifting is really knowing what you desire, creating clarity around what you desire. Now, that's why a lot of people maybe have a hard time manifesting or creating the life that they want, is because they don't know what they want. They weren't taught to think about that, right? We are programmed as we get older to only go for things that seem realistic, or things that we have fully prepared for, which preparation can come in many forms. So I don't think it's, going to be the same path that we take for any new experience we have. But it's like all of these little programs that we've had that tell us, oh, that's too risky, or, oh, you're not able to do this because of that. I want to challenge you guys to suspend all disbelief with everything anyone has told you, any beliefs or programs that you have about your potential. And I just want you to think about what sounds like fun, like what sounds like a beautiful life to you. Again, even if it involves something that you were told you can never do, doesn't matter. We are totally removing all of that. We are pretending like we've had no past, right? So our experiences, everything up to this point doesn't matter. What is the funnest life that you can imagine for yourself? Not even for yourself, just in general. What does that look like? For example, for me, and everyone's going to have, a different vision for this, but for me, I desire to live in a really natural green place that's surrounded with wildlife, really artsy people. I've never lived near like an ocean or anything, so that is like my biggest goal, is to live near the water, and to have tons of time to cook in my kitchen, to create art, and to work with clients. And it's close to what I'm doing now, except for the location bit, and sometimes the feelings inside my body. And that's the secret, it's the feeling. Now, we've heard the books, The Secret, right? The book, I'm sure there's another book, like a sequel or something to The Secret, because I know they didn't put everything in that main book. But the documentary, The Secret, the teachings in general for The Secret, right? Do you want to know what The Secret is? We're always talking about, oh, how to manifest, it's this technique, this is that. Secret is the feeling. And Neville Goddard even has a book called The Feeling is the Secret, because that's how you manifest. That secret that everyone talks about, that is the feeling. You have to feel like $1 million before you can actually be the person who can hold that much physical money, for example. If you want people to feel your confidence radiating off you, you have to feel confident. You have to hold yourself in confidence. You have to talk about yourself in confidence. You have to be the confident person, right? And all this is training yourself to be that. You're not faking it. You're training your body what it feels like to be a new person. Because if your body doesn't know what that person feels like that you're trying to be, it's going to feel very resistant trying to actually get to that point and get closer to that goal, right? You have to look at the version of yourself that you're trying to become, and what things you need to change in order to be more aligned with that version. So, for example, like your most ideal reality, where do you live? Again, it doesn't matter if you have your license right now, like none of that matters. Where in your heart? Again, feeling. The feeling is the secret. So we never want to think our way to success or think our way through our goals. We want to feel it in our body, because our thoughts can lie to us, our thoughts can deceive us, but our feelings in our body is our truth. Our feelings are an extension to our intuition, as are our dreams. So we want to use that muscle when making decisions for our life, when looking for clarity with what we want to go for, what our goals are, all of the things. We want to feel it inside of our body. Even when it comes to cutting somebody out of your life, maybe there's someone who is super toxic in your life and you're trying to think about how to make this friendship work, like, you know, and it just feels so resistant and you're stressed out about having this person in your life. Close your eyes and feel it in your body. Is this person good to have in my life? And I know that seems simple, but I'm going to tell you something that's going to break the code of confusion when making your decisions. Is it a hell yes or is it a no? Because girl, we don't got time to be halfway in a decision and not feel confident and good about it. If something is not a hell yes in your body, it is a no. And this is a great way to get better at decision making and to not use your brain when making a decision. Of course, we want to use our brain when making a decision, but we can tend to overthink and get into this loop that really doesn't have to do with the situation anymore. It's now what we think we're worthy of, and oh, well, what if this happens? And we start to lose ourselves when we try to overthink to get to a specific decision. So that's when feeling comes into play. So let's say that's, you know, a friend wants to go take you bowling, right? And you haven't seen him for a very long time, and it sounds fun, but you're not, it's your Saturday, it's your only day off, and you're not sure if you want to go with this friend, but also you don't want to make them feel bad. And what if you say no to going with this friend, and then all of a sudden they're mad at you, and maybe that will make things awkward in the friendship, and then would we even be friends after that? Like, see how it can just completely take you away? So you have to honor your boundaries first, because you're going to be a much better friend if you can honor your boundaries, and that will also help your friends honor their boundaries as well. Like, you set the example of like, this is what feels good to me. I love you, but this is how I'm going to spend my day, and do it unapologetically. We don't got time to waste. We have no idea how much time we have left anyways. We might as well just be honest. Like, what's the worst that can happen? So let's say you weren't sure if you wanted to go bowling with that friend or not. Just close your eyes and feel in your body. Is it a hell yes or is it a no? If it's anything besides a hell yes, it's a no, and that's your decision. You can also do that with your future as well. Like, what do I want to spend my day-to-day doing? What do I want to add into my business as like a little side gig or like a little side piece? Like, you just feel your way there. And I promise you, life will get so much easier when you follow how you feel. It goes same with, oh yeah, let me say hello to everybody coming in. I'm going to say hello to everybody because I kind of like started this quick. I was inspired to chat with you guys about something. Cypher, what is up? Nancy, Drew, hello, 911, Chan, Jason, Summer Kid, what is up? Warren, how's it going? You're so cool. Lorenzo, yes, exactly, get out of your head and into your body. Exactly. MLG Gaming, what is up, my dude? How's it going, guys? So yeah, you guys, yeah, we've definitely talked about this before, but it's so good to remind ourselves that we have the power, because so often we forget, right? And so I want you to get in the habit of using that muscle, that feeling in your body. And some people also, we know when we don't feel good about a situation, but we try to push through anyways, right? We let that thinking part of our mind tell us, you know, maybe I'm too tired for this today, or, oh, I don't know, maybe I don't know enough to actually do this, maybe I'm not ready. Whatever it is, we start to think too much about it, and then we start to lose what we know is true and what is not true. Right? Yeah, exactly. And we always want to come back to the basics. We always want to remind ourselves of who we are and the world that we live in, because we do live in a magical world where anything is possible if we dare to dream that big. And if we just ask ourselves, what is the very next step? You don't have to worry about what the 10th step is on getting to your goal. What's the very, very next thing? Oh, turning on my computer and emailing this, like, it could be anything. It could be the smallest task. But that's all you have to worry about when moving is, okay, where do I want to get to? Where is that ideal reality version of myself? Okay, where is she at and where am I at? Kind of where is that gap, that difference? And what would be the very next step in order for me to get closer to that version of myself? Number one, I know, in your happiest, most fulfilled life, you probably wouldn't have weak boundaries, right? You would be able to honor what you feel, and you'd be able to honestly tell people what you say with love, and you'd be able to trust yourself and your choices, and also be able to trust the people around you, because you only keep people that you really resonate with close to you. A lot of us don't do that. A lot of us keep friendships because we feel bad, or a lot of us miss opportunities because we don't think that we're ready. But all that's required of us is to have clarity on like what we truly desire, and then just be willing to take the very next step. And also be willing to change, because changing is scary, right? But in order to change our life, we have to be willing to let some of the things go that don't make sense in the world that we want to live in. Like, I'm someone who's kind of very sensitive to other people's like energies and people's emotions and stuff. I can't be really, really close to people who are like really, really negative, or just like suck the energy out of the people around them, or, you know, because I've been in that space a lot of my life because I could never speak up for myself. So I had all of these friends and people around me who didn't really like me, but I also felt bad to cut anybody off or stand up for myself. That was a pattern all growing up. And I knew that if I wanted to change and become a new person, I had to be willing to do things differently, because we can't create a new life if we're gonna do things the same constantly. That doesn't make any sense, right? We can't have the same thoughts, the same feelings, and the same actions as we did the day before and expect a different result today. It just doesn't make any sense. And so I know that it's scary. I know that it's scary to do something new, but what's the worst that's gonna happen? We're not gonna make it out alive, right? Who cares? Who cares? This can be a fun game. Life does not have to be crazy serious. We don't have to take things so seriously when we're trying something new. Like, we don't have to worry about embarrassing ourselves. Purposely try to embarrass yourself then, to break through that fear. If you feel fear in a specific area of your life, dive into it. That's how we dissolve fears, is we get curious about them. We're like, oh, that's interesting. For some reason, I feel fear in my body about this decision. So that's my biggest sign that I need to do it. Wherever the resistance is, follow it and figure out why it's there and what's on the other side of that resistance. And usually on the other side of that resistance, it's something that you've been waiting for. On the other side of that fear, we're just not used to going into uncomfortable emotions. We try to avoid, right? Because it feels uncomfortable in the body. But what if I told you that feeling an uncomfortable emotion was the worst thing that was going to happen? You feel uncomfortable. Okay, you feel embarrassed, or you feel nervous to go bungee jumping. Cool. Like, what if that was as bad as it gets? What if fear is literally just a thin veil that you can cross, and that fear just dissolves, and now you have confidence, now you have experience, and now you're willing to do that again and bigger, because you know that you're gonna be fine on the other side of fear. Fear is the biggest illusion that we emotionalize with. But really all that fear is a feeling. It is only a feeling. And did you know that you can feel fear and do it anyway? You can. You don't have to let it stop you. It's just an uncomfortable feeling in the body. But keep in mind that feelings control our entire life. Just like we said, feeling is the secret. Yeah, that's what helps us manifest, but it's also what controls our entire life. We do things for how we want to feel, right? Like, we don't want money because we want the physical money and we want to just like hang it up on our wall or something. We want it because what it can provide, what it can get us, and we want those things because of how those things make us feel. It helps us feel accomplished. It helps me feel confident. It helps me feel this or this or that. That's why we do anything. That's why we buy anything, is to feel a specific way. That's also why we avoid everything, because we don't want to feel a specific way. We don't want to feel embarrassed. We don't want to feel unworthy. We don't want to feel anything that doesn't sit right in the body. But did you know that eventually you're going to want to chase those feelings, because you're going to run out of things that scare you. You're going to run out of things that make you feel uncomfortable, and you're going to have to actually start searching for them, because you know that on the other side of that uncomfortable feeling is some massive potential to help you grow and evolve as a person. And it's going to go from, oh, that's scary, that feeling is scary, to, oh, yes, okay, I wonder what's on the other side of this for me. I'm actually really curious why I feel resistant or why I feel fear in my body. We can also do that with our triggers. We don't have to take things so seriously. Say that somebody, one of your friends trigger you. Instead, like maybe they say something that just really, really upsets you, or maybe it triggers some sort of wound or whatever. Most of us will sit there and like overthink it and like, okay, how do I make this awkward? Or how do I make this not awkward for the rest of the time that we're hanging out? And then maybe when you go home, oh, should I text them and like mention something? Like, and it just becomes this whole cloud of just like discomfort. And just one little thing that your friend said has now completely ruined your day. What if you could just, in the moment, be like, you know what's the weirdest thing? For some reason, when you said that, it like made me feel like triggered or mad for some reason, and I wonder where that's coming from. Like, you can be curious and like laugh about your triggers, by the way. You're allowed to do that. And did you know they actually lose their power when you do that? Because you're not scared of them. You're not trying to hide them. You're being open and you're curious. You're a human. Of course there's going to be things that are there that come up that you didn't know were there. Our conscious mind is only 5% of our brain. I mean, there is so much there that we haven't revisited that's happened in the past, things that have been left unsaid or things that were not resolved. Like, that's normal. You're not crazy. That's so normal. But the difference between people who grow and people who don't is those who are willing to grow are willing to feel uncomfortable, and they're willing to face parts of themselves that they felt embarrassed about, maybe they feel shame about, maybe there's some emotions within that kind of just bring up anger. You're willing. That's the difference between people who are just going to stay complacent and those who are willing to grow and rise. Those people aren't scared to feel. They actually invite those feelings in, because they know if they invite all feelings within their body, that they're going to gain so much trust within themselves. They're now building the intuitive muscle of feeling. So if you get used to inviting all feelings in and sit with them, not try to change them, not try to force a thought to change how you feel inside, letting it work its way through you. Did you know that you can be sad and feel it fully and open your heart and soften and let your whole body feel it, and then it will work its way through you? Yeah, it doesn't stay in the body. When you release resistance and you just let it work its way, because you're a human being. You know how many emotions and feelings a human being can have? They are all normal, by the way. But when you get used to feeling those feelings like that, and you're just curious, and maybe you have anxiety, welcome the anxiety in. I promise you, it will start to soften. It won't feel so scary and resistant and like intense, because of the way you look at it has changed. The way you deal with it has changed. I promise you, this muscle is your intuition. And if you get really good and work with feeling whatever you feel in the moment and just taking time to let it work its way through you, maybe doing a body scan, starting with your head, working your way down. How does this feeling feel in my body? How does this emotion feel? Pay attention. What feels uncomfortable in your body? Are there parts that feel cool and warm? Are there any parts that feel tense? Just notice. You're not trying to change anything. You're just trying to notice how this emotion needs to express itself. And once you do that, your body's going to trust you more. And when something feels off in your life, you're going to feel it quicker, because you're used to paying attention to how you feel. So this is what I mean, is how you feel in your body is a direct connection to your intuition. Eventually, you're going to be like, oh, guys, this doesn't feel right, or I feel like I should do something else. That feeling, that is the muscle that's going to lead you to where you want to go. But in order to get there, you have to be willing to use it and to feel whatever wants to come through. it's all parts of you. There's nothing to be scared of. There's just parts of us that we pay attention to more, and then there's parts of us that we try to, hide down and kind of get out of our awareness, or, we think it's going to go away. It doesn't. It's just waiting for us to be willing to sit with it. And I promise you, emotions work their way through us, but they can't work their way through unless we give it permission. So it's like this little change in, oh my God, I'm feeling the anxiety again, and starting to resist it and hide it and figure out how to prevent it, or distract yourself, maybe scroll through TikTok, whatever. Do not do that. I know there's some times where we're going to have the urge to do that, but I really want you to know that if you want to feel better, if you want to trust yourself, if you want to be able to welcome exactly how you feel, and ultimately that will elevate how you feel, it's just about being curious and see that uncomfortable emotion within yourself. See that as your little you when you were like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whenever. See it as a little version of yourself that needs you. Whether it's anxiety, whether it's anger, whether it's doubt, whatever feeling that's uncomfortable comes through in your body, see it as a little version of you that's just pulling on your shirt, asking for love, asking for help. That's this kind of state of mind you want to be in when working with your emotions. You don't want any judgment. There's no reason to judge. There's no, the only reason we would judge is because what we say is good or bad. It's a human emotion. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you. And you're safe to feel these emotions now. And that's why we have so much work to do as adults, is because we weren't safe going through a lot of those experiences, and so the emotion was trapped in the body. That's the only reason we still have it. So now, if you feel safe enough in your experience, invite that part of you to speak. It's not, that part of you has as much love to give you as the parts of you that you pay the most attention to. And you will notice a difference inside, in your energy, in your motivation, in your inspiration, in your confidence, in your self-discipline, in your will, in your power, if you feel a feeling. Whenever it comes up, just give it a couple moments to speak to you. What color is it? Is it a hard emotion or a soft? How does it feel in your body? Where does it sit in your body? Does this uncomfortable emotion sit in your chest? Is it in your belly? Is it in your head? Okay, now let's work our way through our entire body and just see how it all feels. And just open our heart and give that emotion a chance to work its way through. I just cried a ton last night because I really miss my grandma, and there's times where it's like, oh, I have a live stream to do, so I can't be upset now, or, oh, not now, let me just push it down. Like, of course there's going to be times where we feel that way, but a lot of us never let our inner self know when it is time. When is time? When is it time to feel how we feel, right? And so I just sat on my bed, I brought all my notebooks in there, and I just cried. I just cried and cried until I couldn't cry anymore. And I wrote down how I was feeling. Writing helps me a lot. And I just had my hands on my chest and I just breathed in. And it was actually such a beautiful experience. I felt like a soul in a human body in that moment, because I was able to take a step back from the feelings and emotions and not like have all my thoughts tied in with them. Like, oh, why am I feeling this way? Why am I still going through this? Blah, blah, blah. It was like I just held space for it. It was like I saw myself as a soul in that moment, experiencing the human experience in this shell, and I just hugged myself. I just hugged myself, and I just let myself cry. And it's interesting that your inner you, high-fiving yourself in the mirror, hugging yourself, complimenting yourself, it actually affects your brain and your inner being the same way as if someone else was doing it. So try that next time. High-five yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're going to have a kick-ass day because you're a badass. Give yourself a hug or pat on the back anytime you do something that you're really proud of. You don't need to be embarrassed. Like, this is your human. This is your human that was given to you, that was assigned to you for this life. And it's unique and beautiful in all of its ways. You can feel so many emotions. You can see so many things. You can hear, you can feel. Music can move you. Food can move you. Beauty and art can move you. I mean, wow, being a human with the the intelligence of a soul, you know, like a fractal of the universe, that's so cool. And it's interesting to have like a human experience that seems mundane at times, but then you have those little moments where you remember that you are a soul in a human body. You remember why you came here, and you remember that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that you need to change. You're learning how this human works. You're learning how it is to be a human and make human friends. And I honestly think it's kind of cute if you think about it. Humans making friends. It's like they just find another little human that they like, and now they're just like a group of little humans that like each other, that make each other feel happy. I think that's really sweet. And life really is just about creating the perception that you want. People struggle because they don't think they can change their view or their experience in their life. But once you know that you can, I mean, now you can really look at who you want to be and what parts of you you're ready to let go of. And it doesn't have to be scary. It's just a part of the human experience. You're leveling up, right? We don't want to stay on the same level forever. How are we ever going to beat the video game, right? How are we ever going to unlock new achievements and stuff, right? We have to be willing to let things go and to do things differently and to learn new skills and to know that it's okay. And there's going to be a learning curve, and it can be fun. Like, the only one who is judging yourself this hard is you. And once you realize, like, your heart is beating just for you, this breath that you're breathing in, that this body is breathing in, is just for you. These thoughts, this imagination is your own world of your own. There's so much beauty and magic in life if we're just willing to take time to see it and to realize how awesome we are. I think this is so cool. And the fact that we're all sitting here right now as well, just talking about being a human, and the fact that we're aware that we are souls, that we're just consciousness. I think it's so cool, okay? I just want you guys to know that you're a badass, and that I love you, and that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I want you to ask yourself something. What if I am actually ahead of where I'm supposed to be? What if I knew that no matter what, I could not miss what is meant for me? What if I knew that I'm always in the exact place at the right time, in the right place at the right time for where I want to go? What if you knew that? It's true. If it was meant for you, you would have it. It cannot miss you. So just relax. Relax. Have a little bit of fun. Do something playful today, right? And we can get stressed and overwhelmed, but just know when you're procrastinating something that means a lot to you, or you feel heavy emotions in your body, it's because you need to take time to just let those feelings work through you. It's like our awareness is a bottle cap. And if we don't become aware of how we feel, or we're not willing to become aware of how we feel for a really long time, we can never take the cork off. And all of these emotions just bottle up. And then when there's so much pressure inside that the bottle explodes, we have all these different emotions that don't even make sense together. And then he did this, and then 2 weeks ago this happened, and this and this and this. It's because all of that pressure built up in the body, and it's like a time capsule. Our emotions in our body are literally like time capsules. We could start crying because someone took our favorite toy when we were 10. We could start crying about that as an adult because we were never able to express how we felt in the moment. Things don't just disappear because time moves on. Time is also non-existent, like something man-made, so it really wouldn't apply to our consciousness and to our, it wouldn't make sense. So yeah, once something happens in our life that is traumatic or is a really good memory, our brain takes a snapshot of that moment with the emotion you felt in the moment, and that's how memories are made. And that's how we store trauma in the body, is it comes with a visual of us feeling like we're back in the moment, and then we feel exactly as we felt. It's because it was just put in the bottle for later, and maybe it took us 10 years to get to it, 15 years, whatever. But now you're allowed to do it. Now you're safe enough. Now you can trust yourself enough. Now you know it's okay to feel how you feel. So if you feel that resistance come up, if you start to feel annoyed with people around you, sometimes I can get that way, you know, if I just start to feel kind of like, I don't know, I feel a little just bit like uneasy or frustrated for no reason. If you ever feel like that, take some time, go to your room, take a few deep breaths, do a body scan. Actually, first, you want to pull up the emotions wheel. Now, I've showed you guys the emotions wheel before. You can literally just type in feelings wheel or emotions wheel and on Google, and it will pull up this whole wheel of emotions, a huge circle of emotions. Now, whatever you're feeling in the moment, you just look through the feeling wheel and just ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? Again, it starts with like some simple ones in the middle, like happy, angry, sad, right? So you find your main category, and then it branches out into a whole other spectrum of emotions, and then that branches out into another spectrum of emotions. So there's tons of very specific feelings and emotions that we can actually identify using this wheel, and your body will tell you. How do I know which one? Your body will tell you. That's what's cool about intuition, is it's in the body, like the feeling. The feeling is a secret, remember, for manifestation, but also for intuition. And you know a lot more than you think you do. It's just we try to think with our brain instead of feel with our body, and that's what causes us to not be confident, is because we have, well, what if this happens? Yeah, but what if this happens? And it makes us feel like confused. But there's a very clear answer in your body, so we just have to tune into that. So as soon as you start feeling uneasy, whatever, take time to go somewhere yourself, look up the emotions wheel or the feelings wheel, identify the emotion on the most outer wheel. Again, it's going to start really basic, but then it's going to branch out. Find the emotion that feels the most correct to you, and again, you'll know. Once you have that, then you're going to close your eyes. You're going to take a nice deep breath, and you're going to think about that emotion. And then you're going to start with the top of your head. All right, how does this emotion feel in my head? How does this emotion feel in my temples? How does this emotion feel in my jaw, my neck, my shoulders? And you're just noticing. You're not trying to change anything. Oh, this specific emotion really tenses up my shoulders, or it makes me feel sick almost. Like you'll start to feel, you'll be able to really identify a lot of the qualities of this emotion, and you're teaching your body how to feel an emotion by doing this. This is how you feel a feeling and let it go, is this process. Is you identify the feeling, you pay attention to how it feels in every point of your body, right? All the way down, and you just pay attention to what parts are hot, what parts are cold, what parts feel, tense, what parts feel more relaxed, whatever it is. Once you go all the way to your toes, now you're just going to ask a couple final questions. What color is it? What color is this emotion? Bam, an answer is going to pop up, because intuition is held in the body and our body's awesome. So as soon as you make an intention or you ask a question, you're going to get an answer. So what color is my emotion? Is it hard or is it soft? And you're going to immediately get an answer. And then the last question, oh no, there's two more questions. The next question is, does it move around in my body, where like this main feeling? Or is it stationary somewhere? So does this feeling move around, or is it stationary? Then the last question is, what is it trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? And that's where the guidance piece comes in. Even all your most uncomfortable feelings, they have guidance ready to give to you if you just took a moment to let the feeling process in the body, so you could get to the other side of it, right? The other side of that veil. Things seem scary until we actually sit with it. We're like, oh, okay, cool. And I actually learned something from it, and I feel better. But just ask it what it's there to tell you. And it's, oh, you need to slow down, or you need to make more time for painting, or whatever it is. Your body will tell you why something is not right and what it needs. Whether it's a relationship that's stressing you out, or, you're not making time for something that really matters a lot to you. Whatever it is, it's going to be unique to you. But your body is your best friend, your intuition. Like, this human is here to support you and love you through every single thing that you go through. This human that you're using as a vehicle through this life loves you unconditionally. And the way for us to show ourselves that we love ourselves unconditionally and we're willing to listen and change to get to the lives we want to get to is we need to create that intelligence in the body. and notice how we feel. And the more we become aware of how we feel, guess what? We're now going to be able to choose how we want to feel. And that's how you bridge the gap between where you are and the person you want to be. Your most ideal life. What is that version of you feeling? What are the three main feelings that your ideal self has in that reality? What are the three main feelings? For me, inspired, creative, if that counts, excited. I'd say those are my three. They're very similar, but I literally get like I become a child when I get really, really excited, or inspired, maybe have a great idea, whatever it is. That's my go-to feeling, is like a really high type of excitement / inspiration type energy. And your go-to feeling is like the feeling that you want to feel primarily, but also that like brings out the best in you. So like your go-to feeling is the feeling that brings the best out in you. So ask yourself what that feeling is, and then you can start to tie back what things create those feelings in your body. Like what actions or what thoughts or what people actually create those feelings in your body. And now guess what? Oh my gosh, you've literally just bridged a path to your favorite feelings. And what's cool about that? How we feel determines what we do. So now that you've created this new feeling inside your body, you've chosen what thoughts you now want to implement. Like, what are the most beautiful thoughts that I would be having in that reality about myself, about life, right? And you write those down and you just start to implement those with that new feeling that you want to feel. And that's going to directly influence your actions, because the thoughts that you have influence the feelings that you feel, and the feelings that you feel influence the actions that you take, and the actions that you take get you your results in life. So that's the formula, folks, and it really is all an internal game. It seriously is. And it's really all just about loving yourself through it all anyway, and knowing that nothing has gone wrong. We're just learning, and we're always where we're supposed to be, right? We just got to understand that if we want a different tomorrow, we have to do something different today. So how can you love yourself a little bit more today than you did yesterday? How can you do your work a little bit better today than you did yesterday? How can you give the people around you a little bit more love, or make people laugh more than you did yesterday? It's just a game. Every day is a new day. Like, it does not have to be serious. And I know we're going to feel heavy feelings. That's totally fine. I would hope so, because that means that you're a human and your brain's working. So if you feel feelings, congratulations. That's a good thing. So it really can be a beautiful, beautiful, fun adventure. Have you heard of human design? Yes, I am a 2/4 hermit opportunist, but I don't know a lot of how to read the charts. But yeah, if there's anyone here who's like really good at human design and like wants to talk about it with me sometime or whatever, we should. Maybe I'll have to find someone who's like super good at human design and have them on like the podcast or a live stream or something. Oh, you're a 2/4. Cool. I think I'm a manifesting generator. I'm pretty sure. How do you explain human design? Let me just see if I can get a... What is human design? I don't want to butcher it. It's kind of like astrology, but not at all. Please don't listen to me. A human design, let's see. So it is proponents. Its proponents describe it as a holistic self-knowledge system. So it's basically how you work, and how to be the most efficient you can be, because everyone's going to be a different learning type. Everyone's going to process situations differently. It also has to do with your go-to feeling, like what feeling in your body gets you moving the most and gets you the best results. It's just all of the little pieces of the inner you and how to work with them. So it's almost like lucid dreaming, except not. Like it breaks down certain parts of your inner self So you can kind of learn how you work, so you can be the most efficient, successful version of yourself. So that's how I would describe it. Yeah, it is. Even Chance got into it, which was crazy. Okay, wait. You are so welcome, Nancy. Life is like a lucid dream. Embrace. Yep, embrace in the fear. Embrace in the fear and it will dissipate. Exactly. And if we think of life like a lucid dream, like in lucid dreams, even if someone's like rude to us or nasty, we know it's not about us. It's probably some sort of symbolism, right? Like if someone was mean to you in your lucid dream, you probably wouldn't take it personally. You'd just be like, oh, that's really interesting that happened. I wonder what that means about me. You wouldn't be like, oh, I'll show you. You don't take things personally, and you ask what the lesson is. You're curious about the lesson or the symbolism behind that thing happening. And I think that's a really helpful and healthy way to view a life situation. So I totally, totally agree. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, thank you. Hello. We're going to have to act if we want to live in a different world. Exactly. Totally, exactly. We have to be the change that we wish to see, because if we stay complacent, we're teaching our, neurons that fire together, wire together. So if you have a certain habit that you don't really want to do anymore, you're wired to do that thing. So you have to unwire yourself. So it's going to feel uncomfortable. That's why creating new habits feel weird at first, because you're creating new neurons that are firing together. And once it becomes easy, that's because they started to wire together. So it is all a neurological thing with doing something different than you did yesterday. And we don't want to get too comfortable doing one thing, because then that's all we're going to know how to do biologically. It's going to feel so ingrained. It's going to be hard to get out of it. So yeah, maybe every once in a while, brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Write something down with the opposite hand. Do things to keep your brain young and fresh, and invite new information and new practices to your brain. Eat new foods that maybe you remember not liking as a kid. Give your brain some stuff to work with, because it only has the information that we give it. So we have to be the one that is showing our brain new perspectives, right? We want to play the devil's advocate with our brain. Well, how do I know that's true? Or what am I making this mean about me? We want to question ourselves, because what happens when you never question your own thinking and you're around people who don't question it either? Well, everyone's coddling your emotions, and even if you were out of the wrong or something, you wouldn't be able to see another side of the situation. That's an example of a program that's so ingrained in your brain, you physically cannot see what other people see outside of that, right? And so to be able to have healthy conversations and debates with your friends, and to be able to use your critical thinking, you have to ask yourself, how do I know this is true? Is this a thought or is this a fact? And what am I making this mean about me? It's just asking certain questions to yourself, and I promise you, changing your perception on a certain situation can be as easy as, well, what else could be true? It's so crazy. Sometimes we think that changing our mind can take months or even years, but actually it can be a split thing as well if you hit the right button. That's where those aha moments come from, right? There was an instant change, an instant way of seeing something, and the more you provide new ways of seeing things, new perspectives to your brain, you're going to be able to adapt to new situations a lot easier as well. It will just automatically make it easier to be a human right now. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Hey, I have a question. Can I use visualization to induce out-of-body experiences? Definitely. When it comes to inducing out-of-body experiences, my favorite thing to focus on is the visual of it, and the feeling of movement. So it depends, when you're doing this practice, but usually I try to induce the liminal state, which is the mind awake, body asleep state. And then I do something like the target technique, which is just visualizing yourself at a different target in your house or a different place. So you could even just be in mind awake, body asleep, and just imagine yourself standing in the corner of your room looking at your bed, and you'll feel this perception switch in your mind, right? Because you're laying in your bed, but you're imagining looking at your bed from a different perspective. That's what gets you out of body, is creating a different perspective visually in your mind that your brain starts to now emotionalize with, because now it thinks that that's what's actually happening. So now your awareness can actually separate from your physical body, and you'll like open your eyes, but in the area that you're imagining. It's the trippiest thing ever. It is so weird, but there are so many ways to induce an out-of-body experience as well. That's just one of the ways that I like, is the target technique, but also the rollout method, because I kind of roll out of bed every morning, and so I know what it feels like. So I can easily kind of like visualize it in my mind, and also pay attention to how it physically feels, like the sensations of doing that. There's also techniques like the rope technique, where you imagine crawling out of your bed with a rope, but I've never done that physically. So my brain, it's almost like it doesn't know what it would feel like and can't make it real enough for the technique to actually work. That's what I'm guessing is happening. But rollout method, I just slip out of bed every day. You know, once I'm ready to get out of bed, I just imagine doing that action just really slowly, and then you can actually start to feel it happening to your energy body. And this is where some people like wake themselves up, because they actually feel like they're slipping off their bed, or they actually feel like they're floating, and it's so trippy. It is so trippy. And so a lot of us can wake up at that time to check to make sure we're fine. But no, everything was working just fine. We just kind of messed it up. So that's how real it can feel. So yeah, visualization and like the sensation of movement, I would say, are the two, for me anyways, the ways that it's easiest for me to induce an out-of-body experience. But yeah, I would definitely give that a try. And we are going, well, no, I was going to say, we will touch a little bit on mind awake, body asleep in the podcast, but I don't think so actually, because this one I just recorded is for like beginner dream work and stuff. So I'm gonna get editing that though pretty soon. I'm cleaning up my desk, my house, so I can have my whole, I'm gonna have to show you guys some videos and pictures once I get it all figured out, because I'm taking everything off my walls. Everything is gonna be bare, and I'm gonna redo everything with all new stuff. I got new tapestries. It's gonna be cool. So yeah, I'm gonna do that today, and then I'm gonna try to edit the rest of the podcast for the Patreon and stuff like that. And then yeah, I will have that released ASAP. And it's so good to see you guys again. I know that we didn't stream for like what, 2 months or something. For those of you who don't know, I went to Idaho. The air is so bad here in Utah in the winter that when I came back in, all of the pollution and everything got me super, super sick. And then just things got crazy for a little bit. But now I'm back. I'm very excited to see you guys again. And I'm working on getting used to my new flow, as far as I'm already doing daily uploads on the second channel. I want consistent uploads on this channel as well. Tons of stuff being released on the Patreon, a weekly podcast. I want to do all the things. So, by the way, I'm going to Washington in like a week and a half. So most things are gonna kind of pick up after that. But yeah, it's very good to see you guys consistently again. Again, make sure to join the Telegram community chat if you guys would like updates on when I'm going live. Sometimes we just talk and share experiences and stuff like that. I also do run a lot of classes. I do one-on-one mentorships. I'm doing a 1-year group coaching container right now for astral travel, lucid dreaming, and personal development. So if you are ever curious in how you and I can work together, or what I have for you that can help you in wherever you are on your journey, just message me, let me know. You can shoot me an email, message me on Telegram. Instagram, I'm pretty easy to reach, but I'd say I do get a few messages on most platforms, so I would probably do like Telegram or email or something, and I'll be able to get back to you the easiest that way. But yeah, I am, if many of you are not subscribed to my second channel, I release nightly sleep music there for lucid dreaming, out-of-body experience, and just deeper sleep. So yeah, I would love to see what you guys think about that. All your guys' support really does help as far as your comments, viewing the video, dropping me a like so the algorithm also knows what you guys want to see. All of the engagement helps. So thank you guys so much for engaging, letting me know what you guys want to see, and thanks for hanging out with me here. I love you guys so much. And I'll release that podcast episode as soon as I can. I'm hoping to do it by tomorrow. But yeah, we will see. I'll see you guys next Monday, unless I talk to you in one of the other groups or platforms. But yes, I'm pretty easy to get in touch with, so just let me know if you need anything. And Unknown Chan, thank you so much for the $10. I really do appreciate the support. Do you have any comments on the CIA study of lucid dreaming in the 90s? It's really interesting. They've actually known for a very, very long time about lucid dreaming and a lot of the effects that it has on our psyche. And this is same with out-of-body experiences as well. I'll have to review the study that came out back then with lucid dreaming, but I know recently they verified out-of-body experiences and remote viewing, which is also a huge step. But I already knew. I feel like they've been using that for so long, just to kind of test out what is possible with consciousness, because consciousness is the biggest mystery. And one of my favorite things with like the lucid dream studies and stuff is that they're starting to use it to gain information that's actually outside of our physical awareness. That's what the government is doing. So they're setting up experiments to see if they can actually lucid dream, astral project, or remote view to a specific place to gain back information that they didn't already know. So that's something that's super interesting and that I already know is possible, because we've talked about some of the games you can do with out-of-body experiences, and we'll have to touch on that a little bit next time as well. But another thing I love about the studies with lucid dreaming is that we can actually see that we can learn things. Like, we can actually reprogram our brain and learn and get better at skills and things in the lucid dream. And it could be any skill. That's what's so cool. And so I can't wait to see how far this rabbit hole goes. I don't think we're ever going to be able to reach the bottom of this rabbit hole, but it's really cool to see parts of these practices being, showing up in more mainstream places. Except I don't think that it's going to get oversaturated as far as the lucid dream community and the out-of-body community, because it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of mindfulness practices, and it's almost like a lifestyle. So this practice almost encourages you to be a better person and to take care of yourself and to be present. So I don't think that anybody will just be able to access this practice and use it for like ill intent or whatever people would want to do, because it requires a specific type of person. And I think that if you do come across lucid dreaming, or you do come across out-of-body experiences, there's something there for you. You were meant to in some way, and I think that's why a lot of us had spontaneous experiences, because it was our time. It's not something you can force to induce. It's not something you can't trick the subconscious to work for you in different ways. Like, it really requires openness, presence, and a certain heart, and a state of mind. And so I think that will naturally protect our community and help this practice evolve and help us just all get closer and become better as we move on. So I think that's one thing I love about this community, is I don't think it will ever be oversaturated with people who don't align with our values and morals. I think that lucid dreaming really encourages us to look at the possibility of what we can do for ourselves and others, how we can make this place a greater place. I haven't thought of one time, like, how can I cause massive destruction from my lucid dreams? Like, it's always like, what's value that I can get out of it for me, or what's something that I think could help someone else? It's always, and I notice that the people I connect to who do practice these things, they all have that same type of heart. So I think this practice is coming to us all at the right time whenever you have your experience, and we're here right now talking about this. So regardless of where you're at in your journey, thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out with me. And yes, I love you guys so much, and I'm just very grateful for you guys. I talk about you guys all the time. I'm just constantly bragging about you guys to Chance, talking about the individuals who show up in the chats, and just like, I just love this world that we've created and that will continue to grow together. So thank you guys so much. Well, being here, do you put shifting subliminals in your music also? If I do use any subliminals, it's on this channel. I don't do any of that on the second channel. That is just sleep music, binaural beats, ambient type of music. If I ever do subliminal anything for lucid dreaming, reality shifting, it will be on this channel, and it will specifically say subliminal, so you totally know what the video is. But anything with guided meditations, talking, anything like that, it's going to be on this channel. The second channel is only for 11-hour ambient sleep music, just so it's consistent. You know, people really want nightly music that isn't so intense with piano and flute and all of these things, and so I've tried to keep it very spacey, floaty, dreamy, so that's gonna stay like that. And then this channel, I am wanting to release more stuff like subliminal affirmations, morning I am affirmations, lucid dreaming guided meditations, astral projection guided meditations, liminal dreaming guided meditations. I really want to start playing with more of that stuff on this channel, so you will see that soon as well. Yay! Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. It is so good to see you. Again, we stream at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Mondays usually, but I usually have a habit of showing up a little bit later. So if you want to know when that is, usually it's like within the hour from like 5 to 6. But join the Telegram and we'll be able to stay connected in there. Oh, I do have some videos on that 𝒚𝒔, so maybe you'll have to check them out and let me know what you think. Alright guys, I love you so much. Thanks again for hanging out with me. It's so good to see you guys again. And as always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity. Bye guys!